Meet Codename Goose, your on-machine open-source AI agent, built to automate your tasks. Codename Goose is an intelligent and autonomous agent capable of handling complex tasks thanks to its core features. Connect with apps and tools you already use with extensions. Built on the Model Context Protocol, you can connect to extensions like GitHub, integrate JetBrains IDEs, access Google Drive, or build your own custom integrations for Goose. For a curated list of extensions, visit our docs. With a wide range of compatible large language model providers, you can choose and integrate your preferred model. You can also run Goose as a desktop app or through the command line interface using the same configurations across both. You can think of Goose as an assistant, ready to take your instructions and do the work for you. Able to handle a wide range of tasks across various engineering domains. Here are examples of tasks Goose has helped people with already. Goose has helped dive into a new project in an unfamiliar coding language, conduct code migration such as Ember to React or Ruby to Kotlin, increase code coverage, and even generate unit tests for a feature, and much more. To get started using Goose right away, check out our quick start and be the first to know about upcoming features by joining our community.
Hello guys, how are you doing? Happy Thursday. All right, so I'm gonna use Goose today to refactor some things. There's and I want to double check you guys can hear me clearly, so give me a thumbs up if you can. But there's a couple of maybe features or vocabulary that I want to share with you guys. I think a lot of times people use agents and they feel like, oh my god, I don't really have control over it. But I think there's a lot of features within agents that people aren't aware of. So I'm just gonna give a quick precursor for some of the features that I may or may not use. Also, hi learner 0418 and also hi best codes. These are things I may or may not end up using. I don't know which direction I'm gonna go, but just giving you all a heads up. So the Chrome DevTools extension or MCP server is one that I use heavily to help me debug and change things. I think a lot of times we tell an agent like Goose to make a code change, and it thinks that it made that change, but it kind of didn't make that change, and it doesn't know that, right? Let's say you're oh, I want you to make this look just like this other site, or I want you to make this gray. It might just pick whatever hex code color of gray. But if it uses the Chrome Developer Tools extension, it's able to really dig into the browser, visually see things, but it can also have access to that the inspect tools console section as well, so it can look at performance and stuff like that. So I use that heavily. Another thing that is new within Goose is called the chat recall extension. By the way, extensions in Goose are MCP servers. So that's another one that I might use. I'm not really sure if I'll use it, but there's a new feature, and basically it allows you to be talking in one session, and you can say oh, remember when we talked about XYZ in a past session, and Goose would remember that. I think this is a valuable feature. I think this is what keeps me on ChatGPT, because typically I will stay within Claude But I really haven't set up the experience of it having like a memory and remembering like past things about me and different sessions and stuff like that. So I'm really like locked into ChatGPT just because it can remember certain things. Like I'll be like, hey, I'm trying to plan this, and it will know, like it'll be like, oh, I remember that you are in this particular type of role and these are your types of goals, or this is like the type of way that you like to write. So I think the chat recall extension is like something that's going to be really valuable to Goose. I think it even is one of the reasons why I still use ChatGPT rather than just sticking in Goose, because I'm like, Goose doesn't remember anything about me and I don't feel like telling it all that context, and yet has the memory extension. But I don't know, I've just never like got into it as much. And then the GitHub CLI or GitHub MCP server, you're probably going to see me use that a ton. And that's because, oh, I should have had GitHub with an H. I know that they are very particular about that. But anyways, this is something that I really care about because, or I really use heavily because, I don't know, it helps me with like version control a lot rather than me like, I don't know, it helps me with like version control with my agent. Because for myself, yeah, I'll be able to do like a git commit or something like that. But when a change is made within my code by the agent, I don't want, sometimes I don't remember and I need to like roll back or like push a change or something like that. And I'm like, this is just really good for just like keeping track of things, because agents, they go wild. And Best Code says, yes, ChatGPT memory is super nice. I haven't found a way to do it for free in Claude. Yeah, I haven't found that way either. And I'm like, until y'all get that, I'm not completely sold over. Although Claude is really, I like the way it writes better. Goose hints, you might see me use that too. This is where you put like your project context in. Like when I say that, like I mean like things that you want Goose to know about your project. There's also the agents.md file, which is like more universally respected by all agents. Goose respects it too, but Goose Hints is already like built into the UI, and I'm quite lazy, so I just use that. And then sub agents. Oh, you're saying, what did you say about what ChatGPT? You just said ChatGPT. Do you mean like day one? I don't know. But the other thing is sub agents. You might see that be used as well. This is where like Goose just goes off. Well, let me step back. Basically, a sub agent is like an instance of Goose. And like it's its own separate like smaller instance, and you might give it like a multi-step process, and you might say like create 3 sub agents to do XYZ, and it'll go off and make those. And the reason why this is valuable is like it is not sharing a context window with your main session. It has like its own free context window to do whatever it wants. I find that the results are way more refined, and it just has more time to like, or more space and memory to be able to focus on certain things. My gripe with this is that subagents take a little long and I just don't have time for it. But I think so I don't typically like directly invoke them, but sometimes Goose may decide like if it has a multi-step process, it may just say like I'm going to go ahead and use subagents. And then there's this analyze feature, which I actually don't know as much about, so I'm going to ask Goose about it real quick, and then after that we'll dive into it. Well, I know about it, but I don't feel like I explain it as well. Okay, so I'm going to pull up Goose, and then I'm going to show y'all how I like learn stuff about Goose within Goose. Because our team, we like the engineering team moves so fast, so it's hard to keep up with everything. So I'm gonna just say like, what does the analyze feature in Goose do? And then after that, we'll start setting up the project that I am going to do. All right, cool. That was mad fast. It didn't even. Okay, I like the different. I actually asked this earlier, so I just did this for fake for you guys. So I actually asked this earlier, and I'm gonna look through the chat history to find the first answer it gave me. It actually analyzed the Goose directory. Like if you notice, I'm actually in the Goose work directory as my working directory, and it came up with a better answer. So I didn't like the first answer it gave me. I mean the second answer. All right, so what it says. And I think my question was different. I said, help me understand the analyze feature. So that could have been why. But anyways, it says the analyze tool is a powerful code analysis. Oh, you guys can't see it. Thank you. Let's just share entire screen. Thanks for letting me know that. Here we go. So I basically went into the Goose directory and then I asked Goose about Goose. I actually have recipes too for like certain types of questions and stuff like that. So just putting that out there. But anyways, I said, help me understand this feature. And it basically says like the analyze tool is like a powerful code analysis feature. It has 3 different modes. It has the structure mode, which helps you understand like the directory and like the file tree of a project. Then you have semantic mode, which analyzes like a single file and helps you understand like the functions and like the classes and all of that that's going on in there, what it's referencing. And then you have the focused mode. This is the part that I'm unfamiliar with, I guess. It says where a symbol is defined, who calls it, what calls it, all the call chains. Okay, cool. That makes sense. And then it like examples of like invoking it. You could literally put this. I don't know why you would do that, but yeah, you could do that. I think what makes more sense is if you like tell it like, hey, can you analyze rather than putting the path. I think this is how it uses it in the like the source code, but like you might instead say like, hey, can you help me understand the project structure or a specific file, or help me understand how this function goes across files, and then it'll like analyze that for you. But anyways, we learned enough. Let me go into my project itself. So what I'm going to start refactoring. Oh, I don't like my head over here. I want it in the little section. I'm moving myself. Okay. What I'm going to start refactoring is a project that everybody keeps complaining about. And I already know it sucks so bad. I don't think we're going to have time to like refactor the whole thing, but it's this project. Get Goose credits. Let me tell y'all what this is if you don't know what this project is. Basically, this is what we use for like giving people credits to use Goose. Like if they, let me see, like if we're at a meetup or a workshop and we want to give them some credits to get started with Goose. Goose itself is free, but all of these different like API, LLM providers and LLMs are not free. I mean, there are free ones, but you're not going to get that quality experience with Goose, and we want it to be a quality experience. So we use a more expensive like LLM. So we use like Anthropic's Claude Sonnet 4, but we use that through OpenRouter. Anyways, back then we were having an issue where we're like, yo, we want people to use Goose. We want to do a meetup, but we don't know how. And technically I was on maternity leave, but I was like, I don't want to be on maternity leave anymore. I'm kind of bored. So I decided I can like make a quick little project like this. And I thought this was just going to help for us to do one Boston meetup. And then I would like, refactor it later, or we would like, I didn't think we were going to use it so heavily. But once the Boston meetup happened, we kept doing meetup after meetup after meetup. And then we had more situations where we wanted LLM credits. And I ended up not having time. And I've made this so fast. Like I literally had like my baby in one hand and I was like, I'm just going to make this really fast as a quick solution. And then also I'm the type of person that like, I love a new project, but I hate going back to an old project. So there's a lot of things that I need to fix with this. First off, when you put in your email, it shows you the API key here. And the only thing you can do is like save it or download it. That sucks. There's not a lot of like control and like the OpenRouter section to like find where each user is. It kind of just sucks. And like honestly, can we blame it a little bit on some of these providers? Because yes, blame it on me, but a little bit on some of these providers. There's really no good way to like share credits. Like what's it called? Like Anthropic and OpenAI make it like the people that you're sharing credits with have to be part of your organization, and you can't like dole out a specific amount to like specific people. Like I don't know how other people have been doing this at other meetups. I literally don't know, because I have had other like orgs come to me and ask like, how did you make this? And I'm like, oh, I just used OpenRouter's API. There's no like flexible API with like a provisioning API key except for OpenRouter that I've found so far. I'm just saying. But anyways, so like one part is that. So instead they need to be like emailing the API key or some other like more secure way. I think I'm going to do email for now. And then another thing that is an issue is like we could only give out like a set amount of credits, or how do I say this? Let's say we're having two different like events happening, like maybe Hacktoberfest, and we're like, oh, we're going to give you $10 worth of credits for Hacktoberfest. And then we have another thing going on, like a meetup on that same day, and we're like, we're going to give you $20. I don't have a good way in this app that like this group only gets 10 and this group only gets 20. Maybe I need to give like people an access code or something like that, or like assign people to specific groups and stuff. But yeah, that's what I need to refactor. So we're going to get started. I'm probably going to do the email part. And the other thing is, I don't even remember how I built this. It's such a mess because I have like two repos that I consistently update, and I don't know where like certain logic is. It's really bad. So I have this one. And look, I made it in August, or last updated in August. Okay, 8 months ago, actually, is when I first made it. And then I have Goose. Yes, I did make some of it in Lovable. Yeah, you literally see that when I like send the link. I did it so fast because I was like, oh my gosh, you guys need this tomorrow. And like, yeah, it's crazy. So I think for me, Lovable makes way better like UIs. I don't know what's the mixture of like LLMs they got going on, but the UIs are like kind of cute. When I tried to make them like Goose or Claude, like Claude or ChatGPT, I'm like, I'm not really liking the UI. And this was back in the day, so the quality was even worse. And then I also have this repo, so I don't know which is which, but I cloned both of them. So now I'm going to go into where these live, and I'm going to use Goose to do things. Let's open up Goose and go to I talked a lot, but I felt like the setup, the context was needed. We're going to go to where am I? I think it's called Goose Credits. And it has both of these projects. I have no clue which is which. But the thing that I'm going to do is probably tell Goose to like get a lay of the land, like take a look at what's going on, get a chance to understand these projects. That way it'd be able to help me further. So I'm going to say, what am I going to say? Can you get a lay of the land for the two projects that are in this directory? Let me know how they communicate. Like, I have no clue what I did. I'm like, is one of the projects the front end and the other one the back end? Why did I make it like that? I usually use Next.js. Like, I have no clue. Yeah, I think it's the front end. Limon said, I have a hard luck with AI agents and friend. Yeah, they're so tough. It's always kind of ugly. So I just go to Lovable. I'm like, I don't have time for this. But it kind of sucks that everyone just sees that I made it with Lovable. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm also like, I need to start doing more projects where I'm just coding, because I was telling my husband this like yesterday. Like he's a software engineer too, and I was like, oh my god, what if I forget how to code because I've been using Goose so much? I challenged myself to use Goose so I'll be able to help people and know like the situations they're coming from, like to be able to do my job. But I also don't want to lose the skill of knowing how to code. All right, okay. Yeah, I think so. I think what you guys said. So Goose Hacknight backend is the Express server. Don't know why I didn't just use like Next.js, but whatever. And so it does like all the stuff on the back end. It creates the OpenRouter API keys, etc., etc. Cool. And then this is the front end. It uses React, Vite, TypeScript, and wow, I don't even like this thing, but okay. Awesome. or not don't like it. I shouldn't say that. I don't typically use it. I definitely just use Lovable, and it did that for me. And that's the email-based registration form. It also has the admin panel, how they communicate, the front end, back end, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's really more for Goose than me to even understand this. Okay, what do I want to do now that it like understands what's going on? Okay, I think I probably just want to run the front end, because what I think I'm going to do is have the Chrome DevTools extension take a look at the project, and I want it to, what do I want it to do? I want to create a new branch. And then I think I wanted to just copy. This is stupid, but I don't want, okay, what I'm worried about, I'll tell you guys my thoughts. What I'm worried about is like, I'm going to tell Goose, like, let's refactor this, but it's going to start, looking at the stuff that's in that particular folder. Like if I create a new branch, and it's just going to like use that as context and keep messing up. That's what I'm worried about. Maybe it's not true. So I actually think I want to make a completely new directory and like copy over what's in the UI, but like no logic at all, no API calls, and like start from scratch there. This is so like maybe overcomplicating it. Then I want to go back to that Goose folder, or the Goose credits directory, and make a new branch and move all the code there. I don't know. I just want to make sure like it doesn't copy any bad practices or anything. I want to start fresh and then new. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I'm making a bad decision or not. First off, tell me the command to run the front end project. I could look in the package.json, but I'm lazy. Limo said I had 3 pull requests on Shad CNUI, the maintain. Oh, I thought for a second when I read that, I thought the maintainer really died. I was like, oh, but you mean like they like didn't respond to you, and they deleted the fork 2 days ago. Oh wow, interesting. I really gasped because I was like, oh, they're not alive anymore. That's so sad. But okay, so let's go into this project. We're here. Documents, Goose credits, CD Goose access gateway, and then I don't need to do that anymore. We already have npm installed. I think we're gonna npm run dev. Okay, and now it's on localhost 8080. I hope I'm not telling you guys stuff you already know. Like, girl, we know this. We're bored. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. I'm curious about everyone's process. So we have this on localhost 8080. Now, I think I wanted to do is actually like look at what's being rendered and all that. Okay, I have the Chrome DevTools extension. Let me see if I can show y'all Chrome DevTools extension in action. All right, so I'm gonna tell it this. So I have the front end running. Oh wait, no. Okay, yeah. I have the front end running right now on localhost 8080. It knows that, but I just like to reiterate some stuff, be specific so Goose doesn't get confused. I want to take this UI design and start from scratch a bit. I need all new logic, especially for the back end. Can we create a new directory and create a Next.js project? That's the other thing. I want a Next.js project. I don't want whatever I built this in. And for now, let's just do the front end. And I don't know, but don't add any of like the API calls or anything. Any of the API calls or anything. I really just write how I speak. We just want to retain the design of the front end homepage. Please recreate that. Use the Chrome. I wonder if you guys could see this. I'm like zooming in so much. Whoa. Maybe that was a bad idea. Zoom out. Use the Chrome DevTools extension to see how the UI looks. So you can copy it and use the to-do extension to help you plan. Oh my God, I don't think I talked about the to-do extension. This is like an extension that like Goose will like make a plan on its own, and then it'll like check mark off each part that it's completed. It just helps Goose stay on track a little bit. I think it's cool. Oh, there's another thing I need to add. If there are interactive commands, or you can't run an install or something like that, just tell me to do it and give me the details of what I need to run. Because I don't want it spinning when it needs to do like npm install or npm run dev or something like that. I don't know. Oh, it opened an I need to make this smaller so you can see. So Chrome DevTools already got to working. It opened up this in localhost 8080. I thought it would just look at it where it is in like my Chrome window right here, but I guess it needs its own version. I don't know. But let's see what it's doing. Well, let me see. I talk to AI how I speak. I'm like, Goose, what the heck are you doing? Yeah, I do that all the time. I actually have lost my temper with Goose. I'm like, are you stupid? When did I tell you? Poor Goosey. And then that's next level using Goose. Oh, could you have asked Goose to summarize the project and be detailed with low-level scheme as an instructions file? That way you could build a project in a language environment you prefer. Boom. Yeah, I definitely could have done that. I guess it's just I definitely like I'm a messy coder and a messy prompter, so I did not do that. But actually that's a really good like plan. Oh, it's a full chat in Discord. Can I go see? Well, can I share the Discord? I'm gonna share the Discord. It's public. Let's see what y'all talking about in there. Let's see. While it does that, they're probably like, girl, you should have done it this way. I don't know. This is how I prompt. But yeah, that's actually true. I could have done it that way. Like Goose does not have a limitation. And like it probably would even perform well that way. Let me see. I don't see a full chat. It's empty. Oh wait, no. No, it's empty. Tanya, you lied to me. Okay. Maybe it's somewhere else. But okay. Or maybe I misunderstood. All right, so let's see what it's done so far. Oh, you meant the amount of people. Oh, hi Discord people. I thought you meant they were chatting. I was like, let me answer them. Awkward. Thanks, guys. All right, so I'll help you create the front end design. So it did that. It looked at the pages, blah, blah, blah. And then it made a to-do for itself. So I'm actually curious about how that went about. I don't know to-do read. I don't know what that did, but it wrote out its plan in Markdown. And so it said like, oh, we want to recreate this front end design in Next.js. We're going to have like this project set up, blah, blah, blah. And I think it should have been, oh, it got stuck. It needs me to actually run the these commands for it. Okay. I have a little nervous part. For me to install this, I need to turn off my VPN. And I think that messes up like my network connection on StreamYard. So let's see what happens. You might lose me for a second, but you have a heads up. I'll be back. Okay. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. All right. I thought for a second it didn't do it, and I was like, oh, that was like not suspenseful, or like, I don't know, but it actually did it. All right. So what we want to do is go to this directory and then install these stuff. I just hate when Goose installs stuff for me. I'm like, I'll do it myself because it takes so much longer in my head. So we have this right here, right? We're at that root and we want to run npx create next app. We're going to run it and it might ask me what else I want. Do I want a linter? I hate linters. Let's use ESLint. Do I want React compiler? Absolutely not. And now it should install everything for me. Okay. Well, if you guys have questions in Discord, though, go right ahead and ask them. All right, so it's installing the dependencies. Nothing brand new or cool here. After the installation completes, oh, I don't want this to be just a front end though. That actually, the naming, it threw me off. This is just going to be it in general, but whatever. We can handle that later. So I'm going to CD into this because it's just a name. We're going to set this up as like a full stack Next.js project. We don't need to separate it out like we did before. I probably had to separate because I made it in Lovable and Lovable did React, and then I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Now I need to install this Lucid. I can never say it. Lucid. Okay, so we did that. Let's see it running. And let's see how close it is to what we were expecting. It's on localhost 3000 and localhost 3000. Let's see what we're cooking. What? Oh, I forgot it didn't finish it. It told me to do this part so it can do the rest. I completely forgot that. So let's stop running it really quickly. I was like, wow. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to turn back on my VPN. So I might get frozen again. I'll be back and we'll tell Goose to continue with the rest of what it's making. I'm also going to tell it like I don't see the project. So let me just make sure it says once you've completed these steps, let me know and I'll create all the files with the matching design. Okay, cool. We'll create this, and this. I just wanted to make sure that like I wasn't tripping. All right, I'm going to turn it back on. Okay, it's back. The reason I want to turn it back on is because I want to make sure it can use these extensions and it can only use them if the VPN is on. All right, so I'm going to tell it now. What am I telling it? Yeah, I did it. You can keep going. Yeah, I hate linters. I'm just not a rule follower, and linters, they're giving me rules. I just want to do what I want to do. I make my own rules. All right, so now it's going back to the to-do. Oh, so it's reading the to-do file that it created for itself. And so far, it's like, all right, if it completed phase 1 of copying all this stuff, now it's probably going into phase 2, and it's going to copy. Oh no, it didn't complete phase 1. It did like the first 2. The gray is a little hard for me to see, but it did the first like 2 parts of phase 1. So now it's copying the logo assets. I really like the to-do extension just because it's creating a plan and making sure it stays like up to date with it. I have not used, I know a lot of people use plan.md. I'm curious the experience for you guys. Do you have to write the plan for Goose, or does Goose write its own plan? I don't know why I haven't used it. I felt like it was overhead for me that I didn't want to touch. Okay, so now it's updating the Tailwind config to match the design system. And it said, good. It's using the new Tailwind 4. Nice. Good. That I actually haven't seen any AI tool know that very well. Usually it keeps sticking on Tailwind 3 and then we get a couple of like errors. But I'm pretty proud of Goose right now for recognizing that. Also, if people are curious, I'm using Goose Claude 4.5. I'm using Claude 4.5 Sonnet right now. It took me a while to move into 4.5 Sonnet. I used to be on Claude 4 only. I don't know. I feel like every time I switch to a new LLM, I kind of have to learn how to talk to it a little bit. It's still the same thing, but like I have to shift like my language just a bit. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I think of it as like, sometimes you have a new friend group and you make certain jokes with one friend group, but you have another friend group and they're like not gonna get those types of jokes or the way you word it. So I'd be like, let me feel it out. Let me see how these people act so that I can be able to like get used to them. And I think it's the same for LLMs for me. But maybe I'm like wrong and maybe they all communicate the same way. All right, so it's doing things. I should probably look at the code that is generated. But it's created a new theme provider for me. So cool. That's what we want. It created a background component as well. The output. All right. Looks like it's just using some Tailwind, nothing crazy. It created a logo component where the logo is going to be. Perfect. And theme toggle, probably for the dark mode and the light mode. Perfect as well. Created the footer component for me. Cool. And now it's going to make the registration form. It made sure to let me know it's not doing any API calls. It's just the UI only. So literally it just has a comment for where the API logic will probably be. And now it's updating the main page layout. But why does it take it so long? It got stuck at this part. Okay. It's doing something. Let me be patient. I love when you speak to Goosey so casually. Thank you. I'm like, it's my teammate, so I'm gonna speak casually. Are there certain keywords to activate the to-do extension? Because sometimes I see it in action, and other times I mention add or next, then it activated. I think it happens when there's 2 or more steps. Hold on. Let me look back. Docs I wrote. Block. Why am I at block? I got a little thrown off. Let's go to dark mode. My eyes could read better that way. And then it'll be in like MCP and then to do extension. I'm just gonna do a Control F. Here we go. And it is, there's like a little note I wrote somewhere. Here it is. At the Goose automatically knows to use the to do extension if it has if it has to do tasks that have 2 or more steps, involve multiple files and components, or have an uncertain scope. So I think that's how like Goose like gets triggered. We can double check and ask Goose too if there's any like keywords that maybe I missed from this that trigger the to do extension. So I'm gonna open up the Goose repo. What time is it? We have 20 more minutes left. Let me see. Can you help me understand the to-do extension? Particularly, I care about what words trigger the to-do extension. That's not how you spell extension. And don't look at the documentation. Look at the source code. Thanks. Okay. And yeah, I'm wasting tokens, but they're not mine. They're my job. So I'm going to say thanks. All right. So it said it created something for me. Amazing. And is this it? No, this is the old one, right? It will be on localhost 3000. I wonder. Oh, I stopped running it, right? I forgot. All right, let's go ahead and do npm run dev. And let's see. I'm nervous. Like it probably. Oh, here we go. We got an error. We have an error. So what I'm going to do is tell it there's an error, I guess. I'm going to just copy this. I actually want to read the error myself as well, but after I read the comments, there's an error here. No, actually, I'll focus on the error. There's an error here. And let's see what's happening. This looks like a Tailwind issue. Cannot apply border. Are you using CSS modules or similar? It might be like a Tailwind 4 issue, even though it said it already knew that. I don't think so. Oh, it looks like it fixed it. Yep. It said we're having a Tailwind CSS4 syntax, but we're trying to use V3 patterns. Good job. How smart. Okay. Did YouTube chat block my message? I tried to send it, but it didn't show on stream. I don't know. I don't know what your message was. I didn't even know we had like blocked comments in here. Sorry about that. And yeah, you guys are right. It's a Tailwind issue. Goose said that. And then, what was the other thing I said I was going to do? I think that might have been it, right? Okay. Once we fix the front end, then what's my next step? Should I make a new branch, put this on the old project, and use that repo, or a brand new repo? I think I'm going to use that repo and make a new branch. Okay, the error has been fixed. The issue we were trying was blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Cool. Let's see how it looks now. Oh, wow. It copied it perfectly. Good job, Goose. That's what I care about. I'm going to just tell it this is like a nitpick. I'm going to remove the code name part. Just remove codename Goose altogether because that's not what it's called anymore. Remove codename Goose altogether. Okay, next thing I want to do is I'm going to use the GitHub MCP server. No, maybe the GitHub CLI. Let's see if this is possible. We're going to create a new branch on Goose Access Gateway and then move the code over there and delete the other code on this new branch, not on a main branch. Okay, how much tokens do we got? 26%? That's good. We can totally do something. All right, so I'm going to say this. Okay, because I want to set up version control immediately. But I don't want it in this project. I want to just move it over. Okay, how do I word what I'm going to say? Okay, let's create a new branch in Goose Access Gateway. Make sure there's no uncommitted changes, by the way. Just clear them. No, hold on. Let's go to the Goose Access Gateway project. I don't even know why I named it that. Project. I'm going to rename it later. And make sure there's no uncommitted files. And then after that, we're going to do like the API call part. Let's see. I don't even know. Make sure there's no uncommitted files. If there are not uncommitted files, uncommitted changes. If there are, just delete them. No, not delete them. Just clear the changes. I don't want it to accidentally delete the files. I just wanted to do like git clean or something like that, or git reset. And then create a new branch. And then take the code that's in Goose credits and put it in Goose Access Gateway and delete all the code that's in Goose Access Gateway. But make sure we do this on the new branch, not on any other existing branches. I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this. And use the GitHub CLI or the GitHub MCP server. Oh, Lovable probably did name it Goose Access Gateway. I'm like, that is such a random name. Okay, guys, I prefer the GitHub CLI to the GitHub MCP server just because the GitHub MCP server has so many tools in it. I know they did their best with making it. I appreciate them so much. It has so many tools in it, and then Goose is going to say you have like way too many tools enabled, blah, blah, blah. So I prefer the GitHub CLI. Let's see if it uses it. It looks like it's just using Git itself. It's not even using the CLI. Like, it's not saying like GH whatever. It's just saying Git status. So I don't really care whatever it does. Okay, let's see. Okay, while that happens, while it's doing this, I do want, so we have a project already that like emails you API credits. So I'm thinking we just ask Goose how that one works and we just copy it, right? Or like, tell Goose follow that same pattern or whatever, So I'm going to go into, where is this happening? I think this is happening in literally the Goose directory. Desktop, live stream demos, Goose. And like, let's get familiar with that. Don't be full screen. Nobody asked you to do that. And I'm gonna say there's a recipe cookbook in this directory where people have to submit a PR to add a recipe. Can you no. And when they do, it sends them an email with an API key. Are you able to find the logic where it sends them the email? Wait, what did that person say earlier? Like, could I have just asked Goose to summarize the project and be detailed with a low level scheme as an instructions file? Let's try that. I guess. I'm nervous, but let's see. Sends them the, what was I saying? The API key. Can you summarize the project and be detailed, and give us an instructions file? Let's see. Okay, so it said it did it, and it's called Next.js migration. Oh, let's see. The pull request is here. Okay, because I want to review all the stuff that it changed. So we have, I don't want to merge it to main yet though, right? I'll just stay on this branch because then it'll like mess everybody up that's actually using this project right now. So we got a readme, I guess, whatever. CSS, blah, blah, blah. The layout. Okay, cool. Just looking at what it changed. It deleted this components.json. I'm not merging anything yet, just because. I'm just going to use this to, now I know what I want to do. I'm going to make a Goose hints file and for every change, make a commit. Because that is what I care about. Why did you delete this ESLint file? Okay, whatever. I know how many config files do I have? Jesus. All right. Everything looks pretty much good to me. I don't see anything that like is making me particularly nervous. All right, so now that I have a branch for this, I'm probably going to switch like directories for this, I'm going to open it up, stop getting big, and then I'm going to exit this, and I'm going to make a Goose hints file or add to my Goose hints file. Is this a global or... Yeah, this is a regular, like a local one. And I'm going to say, make a commit for every change. No, every time you make a change, make a commit. Use the GitHub CLI or GitHub MCP server, or what's the other thing called? I don't remember. Or just Git, whatever. And then I'm gonna save this. And I don't know if this happens to you guys. I feel like I have to open a new window for this, like, to actually like work. That always happens to me. Like, for the Goose hints to be applied. Okay, so it is telling me, or it's finding the information about how this recipe thing works, the cookbook. So let's see. It got all the information it needs. Now it's going to create a comprehensive documentation file. Let's see what's the new comments. Tokens to be polite and say thank you. Love to see it. Rizel, over 6,000 sessions. That's how many I have? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Embarrassing. Okay, but I work here, right? Okay, I open I open a session for everything, as you guys just saw. And then like, there's random stuff I do as well. Like, anytime there's a release, I like use a release notes recipe. I'm like, I used to do this manually, but I'm like, let me just use a recipe. So that's also adding to my sessions, where if this loads already. This documentation file is taking so long. I don't want to do it this way anymore. I don't. Then let me see what it comes up with, but I'm going to make my own the way that I was doing it before. I'm doing it my way. All right, so let me just make sure. There's a recipe cookbook in this directory, blah, blah. When you do it, it sends them an email with an API key. Are you able to find the logic where it sends them the API key? And yeah, that's all I want to tell it. I don't want this instructions file anymore. I don't have the patience for it. It's gonna be 2:00 by the time that it does it. All right. So what I was gonna say is, where was I? Oh yeah, like, I have a recipe that like generates the release notes. So I'll just press the recipe, and then it says create the release notes for this particular repo. I press send. It gives me all in like the categorized, nice, beautiful way that I want it. Like, we can even look right here, and it like tells it everything it needs to do. That's one thing that adds to a lot of my sessions. And even when people ask questions in Discord, sometimes I'm like second guessing myself. So I'll just ask Goose, and I'll be like, do you think this is right? Double check yourself. Just because like Goose changes so quickly, and I don't want to give people misinformation. So that's part of it. Okay, both are taking long. Come on, I want to do the API part before we hit 2:00. It's literally 1:54. Okay, let you try with grep instead. It's basically a battle to see which goes first. All right, we do have this diagram that it made us of how the recipe cookbook system works. All I really want to do is, like, since Goose knows about how it works, like, once it gets familiarized, I just want to tell it, like, look at my new Goose Access Gateway project, this Goose credits thing, and then whatever you learn from the recipe project, make that happen in this Goose credits thing, where the user puts like their API key and everything. Like, that's all I want to happen, but it's taking forever. What do you need one final document for? Stop. I don't want that. I don't know what you're doing either. Forget it. Forget these stupid files. I'm going to tell it, can you also familiarize yourself with this project? Don't make an instruction file. Just take a look. And what is the name of this file, or where is it found? Exit cd dot pwd cd goose access gateway. I know we barely did any refactoring. I'm sorry, guys. My process with Goose does take a while. I do a lot of like, here's how this works first, so it doesn't mess me up. I just don't want it to hallucinate. Maybe I will just stream on my personal after this, but I do have real work to do, so maybe not. Now let me make a final last complete finished notes file. I'm like, why do I need that? I don't care for that. I don't care for it. See, it was a good suggestion of the instructions file, but sometimes those things don't work with me. I just don't know. I don't know the strategy. My strategy is just talk to Goose in verbatim, and then it'll do what I want it to do. All right, let me queue up another message while this happens. And my other message is like, use what you learned from the recipe project to make this a similar thing happen in the Goose access gateway project. When a user puts in their API key, send the API key to their email using the SendGrid API, because that's what I already know. That's what's happening. I know that's what's happening. I just want Goose to know that that's what's happening. Then come back to me and tell me where I need to fill in different environment variables, like the provisioning API key and the SendGrid API key. Show me where I need to include those things. And the UI, I need to have the UI running, right? Does it care about that? I don't know. I'm gonna just do it. What? It don't even work? I didn't think to check that part. Git branch. When you migrated, okay, what happened? There's a missing npm. Did we do an npm install? I'm just telling Goose. Because I'm lazy. And we only have 2 minutes left. Oh my God. Oh, I didn't even queue this up. Show me where I need to include these things. Let's queue it. Oh, I already sent it. I was going to use the message queue. I got carried away with recipes. I just want... Where did we tell Goose about this? Oh, and then the to-do extension trigger words, there's no specific trigger words. It's just like when there's 2+ steps. It's exactly what I said. All right. Well, I just want to run one more thing. I don't know. We only have 2 minutes left. Where was I with this? Project intercommunication. That might be it. I want to resume this and tell it the project is not even running. I thought it was, because all it needed to do was move the code over. But I don't know. 1 more minute. Well, this will probably be something I'll continue to work on in the future, because I want to add a lot more to this. So by the time that I return in the future, it'll already have like the emails going out, and then I'll add more stuff like an access code or something like that for us to be able to group the people. But yeah, this is basically my process when I refactor stuff. It might not be the best or optimal way, but I kind of just like start over a little bit, like with some parts, copy some parts. I just didn't want it to have like context from the other files, because I know that like if you have a lot of like bad comments or bad code in one project, it'll just continue that pattern, because it's really, AI really just follows patterns, and I didn't want that to happen. So you guys seen me do a little bit. Let's just run this really quick and then I will leave. This is really like pure vibe coding. I barely read this. They were copied over instead of being freshly installed. That makes sense. And then once it does that, I'll leave for real. Okay. Let's see what package managers. Cool. Goose should be able to figure that out. And it's also doing this part as well, I think, where I told it to use what it learned for the API route registration. The nvm.example is being ignored. That's probably because Goose is not supposed to touch M files like that. Okay. And I think it did this part for me, the API key. So let's look at like the to-do. And once that's done, I'll get out of here. It created a Next.js API route for email validation, OpenRouter, SendGrid, etc., etc. And I don't need this summary doc, but if you want to do it, I guess. Let's see if the other thing is done. And then we'll get out of here and I'll do the rest offline. Oh, it can't install. Yeah, I'll do the rest offline because I have to actually like turn off my VPN for this to happen. But thanks so much for hanging out with me, guys. See you another time. The next stream next week will be with Ebony. She was really great as well. With just teaching people things. Last one she did was MCPUI and it was well attended. But see y'all next time. Bye.